Well, it happens in my case so interesting that, you know, life was making its motions and movements in my life in such a way that there's this opening that occurred, and I said, this is what I'm going to do now. I can now, in a sense, for the first time, relax in my life and take a step that I've been wanting to take for a long time, and that's to sequester myself and really commit the time to getting some books done that have been living in me for a long time.
And you know, you did
and that I've gotten quite far with, but not far enough.
And you did outstanding in the retreat. And the reason I feel, the biggest reason you did so well is not because of my teaching, which I think is essential, but I don't think that's the biggest reason. I think it's because it was time. If you notice, when we started doing the writing, you got right into it, you took off, you were in that author within state immediately.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write your book? Was it 2 days, 3 days?
I was one of the first finished.
Yeah.
Among them.
What was it? You finished it on Sunday, so it was probably 2 days.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I really
a
feel
lot had already, as they said, you know, the cake was already half to 3/4 baked.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what I think you were missing? And I'm posing this statement in the form of a question, I think. I think what you were missing was a few things. Total heart into the book, and number 2, total turning over to the divinity of that book to come through you. You know, our head's a very important aspect of us, and there's nothing that we've experienced positively in our lives that hasn't been a result of our heads or our mind or our left brain.
Of course.
And that makes it kind of difficult for writers, because every success you have had up to this point is directly tied to the input of your left brain. But when we write, we got to step outside that security blanket and get over to the right brain totally. There's a place for the left brain, but it's a secondary factor.
Yes.
And that's what was missing, I feel, in you, and that's what I feel is missing in everybody, is that total giving over.
Right.
So I hope they have enough, my students have enough trust in me to be able to get to the point where they say, you know, I'm desperate, this guy looks funny, dresses funny, sometimes he is funny, but this guy knows how to do it. And
Tom, on that note, I believe you know how to do it too.
Thanks.
I really appreciate what you're doing.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Man.
Wow. Well, you heard it from Tom Bird himself. Now for the next few minutes, you'll have a chance to meet with some of the people who have been on this intensive retreat with us for this past week and experience some of the taste, some of the feeling of being with them and actually being here. Thanks so much for joining us, and if you want to contact Tom Bird, you can do so at www.tombird.com. It's very difficult. I'll try it again, tombird.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.
I'm Jeffrey Allen, and I live in Sedona, Arizona.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thanks.
So what inspired you to come to this retreat?
About a month ago, I left the country for a month to go teach in Paris and do some work. And before I left, I'm only here in Sedona for 7 weeks. And before I left, I told one of my friends, I'm going to write a book when I get back. In that 7 weeks in between, this trip and that trip, I'm going to bust out a book. I hadn't even heard about the retreat.
How did you hear about it?
So I got back, and I just heard about it a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was either an email from a friend or something. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is it. I'm supposed to do this retreat. And I rarely have even a day off of work, because I'm booked all the time. And I just got back from Paris, so I've got an entire week not booked because I haven't called my clients yet. Okay. So it was like a perfect lineup, yeah.
Wonderful. So you do feel that there's a book that's urgently wishing to be written?
Yeah, there's at least one book. A couple books have been haunting me for probably about 4 or 5 years.
What's the haunting like?
Well, it's haunting because I know the book, I'll get titles, I know how to organize it, it's like it's there, it's ready, but I haven't taken the time to make it happen. So, but 8 days I could do, yeah.
Do you have any fears around writing?
Yeah, the process, not so much. I'm excited about the process, but the fear is probably what's kept me from doing it so far. Just what's it gonna be like to have it out there? Yeah.
Well, I guess you're going to be finding out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, Jeffrey, this is over. 8 days of writing. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling a sense of relief that it actually came out. You know, the book came through, and I've got another book maybe a fourth of the way through, and
Wow.
and it feels really. It just feels like I'm going to keep going from here. I feel like this has started something that's going to continue.
Like it opened a faucet or something.
Yeah,
An
exactly.
inner faucet.
Yeah, like it's been needing to open for a while.
Yeah.
I actually had this really nice insight this morning because yesterday we did more. There was more instruction and less writing, and I kind of missed the writing. And today, when I was sitting down, getting into the writing state, I noticed that this, as I tuned into it, there's this part of me that's like been maybe missing or a little bit. I've been a little bit lonely for it for a long time. And as I was tuning into that state, I was realizing, oh, that's what's filling it up. That's what I've been looking for, is I've been missing this author within. I've been missing that all along.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Your life is like, well, I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, yeah, and it's just really powerful because I could feel that this has been with me for a long time. And I've been threatening to write books for a long time. It's never quite come out until now. So it's exciting, and I know I'll take it home with me. So.
Great, that's wonderful. It's like your life is very well expressed in so many ways, and then there's this one stream that hasn't been, and now you're experiencing it when you're not using it as loneliness.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, loneliness for some little part of myself that I didn't
Exactly.
know where it was.
Exactly. Is this something that you would recommend to others, friends, clients, whomever, students?
Yeah, definitely. I would recommend it highly. Anybody that feels like they have a story, something they want to tell, this was a very easy way to let it out. I love the method that Tom has. I realized about halfway through that it's actually the same method that I use to write my classes. Just
interesting.
My classes are much shorter than a book.
Right.
But I do the same thing, on paper, revisions, the same process as you
Stream
watch
of consciousness.
Even the same steps. So he got it from somewhere because I was already doing it before. So
Exactly.
It's really powerful.
Maybe he got it from you.
Yeah. We're all tapping into the same field.
Exactly. I think it's a universal template.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Jeffrey. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm Will Burkhart from Sedona, Arizona.
Wonderful. So what inspired you to come to this retreat?
I took Tom's 3-day retreat in, I guess it was January, toward the end of January, and based on that experience, really wanted to get into something where I would know I would have a complete segment of time to do the whole thing and write an entire book. So that was pretty much it.
So do you know the specific book that's in you, or do you feel there's a book
I do.
maybe coming?
Yeah, no, I have a specific book. It has a title and a working title, so we'll see how it comes out.
Do you have any fears around writing?
Yeah, but not in negative ways. I'd say more anxious to get going and just, it's kind of like before a athletic event. You're a little nervous. You're butterflies or whatever. So it's
So you're
more that.
excited.
Yeah, and it's like, let's get going.